So looking at some more ways to classify matter, we next can start classifying matter based off its physical or chemical properties. Physical properties are going to be the properties of matter that we can study without changing the chemical or the substance. So, for instance, we can study physical changes. So that means the state changes. So we can look at water in the form of a solid, a liquid, or a gas. Those are physical properties because the property does not change the chemical. That chemical is still water. We can look at physical properties and physical changes. So a physical change is an alteration to the substance without changing its identity. So think of a sheet of paper. So you have a sheet of paper and you are going to cut it. All right, you cut the paper. That's a physical change because even though the look of where the starting point was, so the sheet of paper is now cut into halves or shapes, it's still paper. So I can take a copper sheet, and I can cut it, right? But the sheet that I cut is still copper. So that would be a physical change. So I changed the way it looks, but I'm not changing the actual substance. It's still the same substance. So for instance, if I crack open an egg, it's still an egg, right? It's still an egg. So that would be a physical change. Now, if I take that egg and I fry it, right? It's no longer just the egg that we started with. It's now altered in a chemical fashion. So frying an egg would be a chemical change because I physically changed the substance by cooking it. So we look at physical and chemical properties based off of, did we change the substance? If the substance is still the same substance that I started with, it is a physical property. So it's a phenomena that I could study in the lab without changing the actual material. A chemical property is going to physically change the substance. So that means I'm going to have to study its chemical properties by changing the matter into something else. So the identity totally changes. So let's take a little bit deeper look into each of these.